Set up this evening. Argentina in wait for Sunday afternoon's World Cup final tonight. It's France, the reigning champions, against the African history-making team, further than any other team of the continent in any World Cup in history. It's Morocco this evening. Myself, Matt and Kai, alongside me is Harry Jones, and we have an early change, don't we, Harry, with Dari coming into the centre half for Agued. That's not too much of a surprise, is it, given the injury records of the two teams in the last few games?
Yeah, exactly. I said before kick-off, I saw the lineups come out, and Agued was meant to start. He was meant to be out for about 3 weeks with that hamstring injury. I was really surprised to see him starting, but they've obviously made the late change. Clearly wasn't feeling it in the warm-up. I think it was going to be a risk anyway. I don't know why they even bothered to try and get him out on the field, but Dari's come in. He's a decent replacement, so I don't think it'll be too big of a miss. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see it. Better than Agued starting and them having to make the change. But yeah, they've made it early, which means they don't have to make the change during the game, which I think is the right call. Yeah,
it's like for like, so they're sticking with the back five that they chose to go with pre-kick-off. Here's Amrabat down the left-hand side as we break off, as Griezmann is chasing him all the way. Saw him make a few niggly fouls on purpose, of course, against England in that previous game in the quarter-final. Here's Koundé under pressure. Amrabat chasing all the way forward down the left wing, but in the end, the Frenchman opts to put that one out for a throw-in. The France team then for you is two changes for tonight. It's Lloris between the sticks, a back four with Koundé, Varane, Konate, who's in for the ill Upamecano, and Theo Hernandez. Midfield of Tchouameni and Youssouf Fofana, who's in for the also ill Adrien Rabiot. And then the unchanged up front four of Dembele, Griezmann, Mbappe, and Olivier Giroud. As for Morocco then, they pre-kick-off, it was going to be two changes with Agued coming into this side, but it's still two changes, but Dari is the man who's come into the back five, so it's Bono, Hakimi, El Yamik, Dari, Saiss and Mazraoui, Unahi and Amrabat in midfield with Ziyech, Boufal and En-Nesyri up top. Of course, the two coming out are Atia Allah at left full-back and Amalar in centre midfield. They have been playing with the back four as of late, switching tonight, and it's a tactic, isn't it? It's a tactical change. We've seen the tactical changes by their manager, of course, Walid Regragui, and boy, was he up for the game before kick-off.
Yeah, he was. You saw him belting the national anthem out. His fans in the stadium reduced to tears, and you can see why. It's a massive moment for this Morocco side. They're looking to make history, aren't they? And there's no reason why they can't do it. They're set up fairly defensively, and it's clear to see that they're going to go for the approach of just holding France off. The longer it stays 0-0, the better for Morocco. They're going to try and hold out, and this France side, they're not been as free scoring as what we may have expected in the tournament in the group stages. Apart from the Australia game, they were held plenty of times, and there's no reason why this Morocco side can't do it. They've only conceded one goal in the tournament so far. It was an own goal, so they're defensively astute, and it's definitely going to be a cagey affair. But Morocco are going to look to get them on the counter attack, and you can see why, because there's definitely ways to exploit this France side, and they're going to try and do it.
Yeah, I like this setup from Morocco, I have to say, with the back five and allowing Hakimi and Mazraoui to get forward with, of course, Amrabat and Unahi have been so impressive this tournament in central midfield. They will drop in and fill the gaps whenever they are required to do so. It looks like Romain Saiss is the middle of the back three, we'll call it at the moment. I think El Yamik is slotted on the left, and that's put Dari on the right. Of course, the West Ham United centre-half in Agued not starting today's game. If you've just joined us, France against Morocco, 3.5 minutes in, still goalless, yet to have an effort at goal. And out on the far side, France have won themselves a throw-in on that far side. A lot of talk pre-kick-off as well between the two friends over on that far side of the field, as they are currently Kylian Mbappe and Achraf Hakimi, the two PSG stars, hugging it out pre-kick-off with a special handshake of theirs. Do you think as soon as they walk on the field, they will be best of friends but best of enemies?
Yeah, well, they both came out and said before kick-off, as soon as they're on the pitch, there's no friendship there. They both, there was some fighting words between each other. Mbappe saying if he has to, he's going to go at Achraf Hakimi, but I think them having that special bond could play into the favour of either of them. I mean, Hakimi knows what Mbappe's like. He knows what he needs to do to deal with him. Same for Mbappe. He knows what Hakimi's like. He may know how to get at him. They train with each other every day at PSG, so they're very clear on each other's talent. So it's going to be a really exciting battle on that left-hand side. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they face up.
Yeah, ball slipped in behind of the Moroccan defence. Here's Griezmann, right-hand side of the box, looks to cut one back towards the penalty spot. There's Mbappe, swings at it twice, swings at it a third time. Blocked away by Dari, comes out to Hernandez with the overhead acrobatic kick. Smashes the ball into the back of the net. It was a little bit fortunate at first, but Hernandez made no mistake.
Yeah, it's a really nice finish from Theo Hernandez, and what a start for this France side. They needed that to settle the nerves. They're coming in heavy favourites. They're needing to, well, everyone's expecting them to beat this Morocco side, and the longer the game went on, it could get really tough and testing for them, but no chance of that. They've started on all cylinders. A really nice ball into Griezmann. They just switched off at the back there. I think it's Yamik on this left-hand side who's just been caught out. Cut back to Mbappe. Really good defending from Hakimi to deny him the first time, but it falls pretty favourably to Theo Hernandez. You could say there's a touch of luck there. Bono just makes himself big. There's nothing that's going to stop that though. Darry on the line can't clear it away, and it's a horror start for Morocco. They'd want to hold out for as long as they can, but now they've got to come at this France side, and it's going to be an uphill battle, and it's a dream start for France.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 minutes into the game, Les Bleus ahead, and Didier Deschamps delighted on the sidelines. Of course, there's still a long way to go in this game, but what a huge moment that could be in this semi-final. The Moroccan players instantly looked towards the sidelines and the linesman. There was no hint of an offside anywhere. It was a little bit unfortunate for them in the sense that Amrabat slipped in the middle. He may have put a tackle in, but El Yamik with a gamble, wasn't it? Trying to win that ball early in front of the man. He didn't even touch the man at that point. When you know you're going to lose it, you've either got to win the ball or take the man out. He did neither. And in the end, it fell perfectly for Theo Hernandez, and he made no mistake. Konate winning a header further upfield there for France. He nicks it off Mbappe's toes and drives to the right-hand side. It's a long way from here, of course. 83.5 minutes still to go. But what a great start it is for this French side inside the O.A.T Stadium, which has now fallen to pretty much silence, hasn't it? It's a crowd that's majority full of Moroccan fans and those supporting Morocco. Of course, we know in Qatar there's plenty of Arab fans that are just supporting any team that supports their sort of football, and Morocco are a side that have really galvanised the fan base over in the Middle East, and they are silent now, and it really doesn't work to their favour, does it, having to work out from the back as Unahi driving forward there, looking for Mazraoui on the left-hand side. He plays the ball too far in front of him and out for a throw-in. It goes on this near side. Just having a look once again. It's at shoulder height, isn't it, the ball, when it bounces up at Theo Hernandez. It's not an easy technique. And Bono, a goalkeeper who we've been so impressed with so far this tournament, could he have maybe got to that ball a little bit quicker? Was he a little bit tentative?
Well, I think it's, first of all, really difficult for Hernandez. The bounce the ball took was very awkward. It didn't really sit up nicely for him, as we'll just break off though, as Morocco looked bounding on goal here. Hernandez caught out slightly, Hakimi almost getting the better of him. But the Moroccans, after the goal, nothing's really fazed them. They've lost out of possession though. Yeah,
Fofana's won it back quickly off Ziyech, and now they're breaking on the Moroccan defence. Amrabat filling in at right full-back. Here's Mbappe to try and get past the Fiorentina man, cuts back on his right foot, looks for a pass to the edge of the box, miscontrolled by Fofana, played back by Dembele, just recycling the ball, and in the end the Moroccan defence can all come back. Ziyech, is finally back to his feet. He's thought there should have been a foul. It just looked a strong tackle from Fofana.
Yeah, it did. It was a good challenge in the end. He did really well to win possession back. They broke quickly. Mbappe, I think, held onto the ball way too long. Fofana was in acres of space on the edge of the box. Mbappe just held onto it, waited for the incoming runner, Griezmann, and by then the Moroccans had got back into a nice shape.
And here in midfield is Unai, turning beautifully in the middle of the park, not fazed by the onrushing blue shirts. Hakimi winning the ball back initially for Moroccans against his teammate in Mbappe, and this time he can't gather the ball. The PSG start as Ziyech smashes the ball past him out on the far side for a goal kick to France. 8.5 minutes gone in this game then. France 1, Morocco 0, thanks to that early Theo Hernandez goal. And Hugo Lloris will take his time coming for the goal kick now. The drummers are still drumming, trying to whip up that crowd inside the O.A.T Stadium to support this Moroccan side, who have beaten all expectation already in this tournament, looking to continue to make history. They become today the first African side to make it to the World Cup semi-finals. They have their sights further on in the competition. They're not going to stop here as Enesri wins the ball back. Amrabat turns it around the corner. Ziyech trying to get there first, but Konate with a really strong challenge. It's one of those, isn't it? Konate's come into the back four. A lot of questions of Upamecano, and this is a perfect chance for Konate, isn't it, to stake his claim in the side. And a lot of the French media were wanting him to come into the side, and here he is.
Yeah, he is. He's finally got his chance, but you could argue not really had much game time, has he? So Is he up to match fitness? I mean, that shows that he definitely is. He's putting a couple of strong challenges. Will just break off, though.
Unahi with a strike from distance as Hugo Lloris goes down to his left-hand side. Strong left wrist on that more than anything to turn the ball away, but it came from the French losing the ball deep in their own half, wasn't it? And a great flick inside from Unahi. He started this game brilliantly.
Yeah, he has. He's been everywhere, and that's a real testament to this Morocco side. That midfield too of Amrabat and Unahi have been absolutely stellar in their race towards the finals of this World Cup. And well, he's definitely showing no signs of letting up, Unahi, because he got the ball there. It was a really nice effort on goal. Lloris was at full stretch, had to tip it wide, couldn't hold on to it. Unlucky that the follow-up wasn't there from Ziyech, just got pushed a little bit far out wide, but they're still coming forward here. Yeah,
great turn from Sofiane Boufal in the middle of the park. Only mentioned him for the first time there as he picks it up on the right now. Chouameni puts in a tackle. Questions of the officials over on the far side. How's that not a free kick? Says Sofiane Boufal, goes over to the linesman, as does Achraf Hakimi. He needs to get on his back and get back in position. Marking Kylian Mbappe as here comes Koundé down the right-hand side. Now with Dembele, there's a free man on the far side. It's that man, Kylian Mbappe. Can they get the ball to him? Not just yet. Griezmann initially stalling, plays it in behind as Mbappe is pulled back. Referee and linesman say offside, and he also said no foul for the pullback.
Yeah, that was the right decision there. It was obviously offside, so it wouldn't have counted anyway, but Mbappe went down way too easily there. There was barely any contact from Hakimi on that far side, so I think the right decision there, but I think the wrong decision up the other end. There was definitely a foul for Morocco out on that far side. I mean, you know what the referees saw there. They should have gone back for it, but the game carried on. We're just seeing replays there of that fantastic effort from Unahi. Forced a really good save out of Lloris. If it just fell a bit favourably there to Ziyech, it's an empty goal to tap into. So even though France got that early goal, it'd be easy for the Moroccans to lose their shape and drop their heads, but they haven't done so. They're coming right back at France. It's lovely to see. They've got so much fight and grit in this side, and it's no stranger as to why they're in this situation in a semi-final. They've been fantastic.
Yeah, they're pressing up high once again. Amrabat taking a slip. I tell you what, I've been critical of Hugo Lloris down the years. He was fabulous against England, and once again there, what he does brilliantly, as you said, Harry, he seems like he's got all the time in the world and turns the ball wide. He turns it away from the man that's coming in. He was never, ever going to allow that to spill to the red Moroccan shirt who was bearing down on goal. Morocco, of course, in their traditional red top, green shorts and white socks. France in their blue top, white shorts and red socks as Ibrahima Konaté brings the ball out of defence for Les Bleus. Just plays a square ball to Varane on halfway. Yeah, just jogging forward for now, looking for some movement. Griezmann drifting to the right-hand side. It's so hard to track him in a game, isn't it, as he goes down under a challenge, asking for a foul. And once again, our Mexican referee this evening, Cesar Ramos, has been very lenient.
Yeah, he is, and I like it. He's letting the game flow. He doesn't want to go into many decisions just yet. If he starts blowing up for these sort of efforts, then we've got the best part of 80 minutes and the game will be way too stop-start. I like the way that the game's flowing. Strong challenges, but they're definitely not fouls in my opinion, but that's a really poor way to lose the ball there from Amrabat. Griezmann can't capitalise, and neither can Giroud as he flies it out of play for a throw-in.
Yeah, absolutely. Griezmann and Giroud just swapping positions for a moment, and he perhaps wanted them in the opposite order as Olivier Giroud smashed that ball out for a throw. It was miscommunication that caused that little opening as Amrabat and Unahi saw the ball fall to the feet of the big Frenchman. Moroccan fans inside the Al Bayt Stadium still full of voice behind their side as switching the play from right to left now is Hakimi. He's put his man under pressure here in the defender of El Yamik. Strong though, shrugs off Ousmane Dembele, plays a ball into Mazraoui. He initially missed controls, it's the Bayern Munich man, but in the end Morocco were able to comfortably play out from the back. There's Unahi, good ball out to the right hand side. There's that free man with that 5 at the back in Hakimi in that deep right midfield position. Plays it down the line to Ziyech, pressed quickly by Theo Hernandez, the goal scorer already in this game. 13.5 minutes gone. Independent unofficial off-tube studio commentary of France 1, Morocco 0 in the second semi-final this Qatar World Cup 2022. The winner will face, of course, Leo Messi and Argentina in the final. Fofana trying to press quickly against Hakimi. Hakimi saying he's been pulled back, and the referee this time gives the free kick.
Yeah, he does, and I think that may have been the right decision there. There was a slight pull on the back of Hakimi. He'd beaten Fofana, so he'd already got past him. He then was slowed up by the arm across. The ball was already going to Ziyech, so they would have stayed in possession. So I think right decision there from the referee. Just Hakimi's pace was too much for Fofana there, and that's what he does best, driving at defenders and taking them on. So quick and direct. He's a real asset to this Morocco side.
Absolutely. Fofana there giving away the free kick. He's been impressive so far in this game, of course, coming in for Adrien Rabiot, who's impressed so far this tournament, but he's out with illness today. Ziyech, the man over the free kick, left foot one to whip this one into the box, in towards the penalty spot. It's a flick-on header from Morocco, potentially claimed for a penalty, but not so, as Konate was stronger in the box there, as El Naziri just pressing over on that far side. Long ball for France. Falls it perfectly at the feet of Ousmane Dembele. Jinks and jives down the right-hand side, looking for an option. Left foot ball inside to Tchouameni now, driving forward with it. Griezmann just wandering around the park as he does, trying to orchestrate things as the World Cup golden football as it is now for the semi-final and final stage being fizzed about the ground as Morocco get back in their 5-4-1 formation.
I was just going to say, Olivier Giroud doesn't look comfortable here. He's walking around, stretching, and he's been at a walking pace for the best part of a minute now. Keeps stretching that right leg. It'd be a real shame to see him go off, because he is that talisman, isn't he, for France, and doesn't look like he's moving the best, and we're still early on in the game, so worrying signs. Yeah,
he's a man that's been crucial this World Cup campaign, hasn't he? Didn't have a shot on target, of course, as everybody knows, in that 2018 Russia World Cup, which they won, but has already scored 3 this competition. Picked up a knock in the later stages of the England game, didn't he? Went down on his right knee inside the England box, and he was eventually able to continue, and of course scored the all-important winning goal in that one with a head from the left-hand side as Mbappe receives the ball, but it's a good quick tackle in there by the man that was substituted in late before kick-off as Dari wins it back. Unahi fires into the feet of Boufal, turns quickly in midfield, gets past Tchouameni, Dembele chasing back, but here comes Boufal, opens up the play on the right-hand side, in towards Ziyech, right foot, and he just looks so uncomfortable on that weaker right foot of his, slips as he strikes, and it goes wide.
Yeah, he never wanted to shoot there, did he, Ziyech? He was always looking to cut back on the left, and they did well there, France, to show that right foot to him. They didn't want to let him cut back. It's a really nice counter-attack. Boufal spins away from Tchouameni with absolute ease, and it was a good track to come across from Ibrahima Konate. He came across and showed Ziyech onto his right foot. He never looked comfortable, but that's a really poor mistake from Morocco.
Yeah, Saiz letting Giroud getting behind on his left boot, strikes a goal and hits the left hand upright. Hands and his face on his face as he just gasps as to how that didn't go in the back of the net. What a strike it is from Giroud, but what a mistake it was initially from Romain Saiz. Just completely misjudged the bounce of that ball. It skidded off the surface, and Giroud hits that with so much power, but can't hit the target.
Wow, the way he's hit that, Olivier Giroud, that would have gone through the back of the net if it ended up hitting it. He hit that with so much venom. Bono beaten there at his near post, and I think we're all as shocked as Giroud is that didn't end up in the back of the net. It was a really dangerous counter-attack. Romain Saiz has to sharpen up there. There's no way he should be beaten there. He's let the ball bounce, completely misjudged it, and they're really, really fortunate that it's not 2-0 to France here in Morocco, because Giroud could easily have found the back of the net there, and it would have been a much harder situation to get themselves out of if that did end up rippling the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those, isn't it, for Morocco? They've been so impressive defensively this tournament, only tonight, conceding their first goal from the opposition as opposed to an own goal in that game, that 2-1 win against Canada. They've been so impressive, but 2 defensive mistakes. First by El Yamik to see the ball going into the box and Griezmann slotting it across, eventually Theo Hernandez hitting the back of the net, and that one there, which they've been let off a little bit. And manager Walid Regragui just watching on from the sidelines, telling his team to keep up the tempo. They've dominated the possession so far. They've created a few openings against this French defence. Looking to continue doing that now with Mazraoui down the left-hand side, puts a boot on the ball there as Koundé sees it go out for a throw-in on the near flank. 18 minutes gone, France 1, Morocco 0, but it's not been short of chances and entertaining action early on in this game. Giroud battling with his back to the defender, saying there's no foul there. It looks as though there's another Morocco man getting ready on the sidelines to come on to the field, and I just wonder who it will be. It's probably going to be Romain Saiz, you would have thought, at the back there, Harry.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Romain Saiz. He was another doubt for the game, and they're risking these players, aren't they, Morocco? It's a dangerous game they're trying to play, and Saiz hasn't been fully fit for pretty much the whole tournament. So he might be the man to make way. He's already made that mistake, and I think it's best to get him off sooner rather than later, sorry, if he is not fully fit. So an early change, definitely not what they want to be making, especially being 1-0 down and a captain leaving the field. So it could be worrying signs for Morocco, but if he's not fit, it's best to get him off now.
Yeah, absolutely. With the 3 centre-halves on the field already, and a guard, of course, not fit to start, being changed by Dari. They're running short of defensive options. They've got Benoune, the Qatar man, on the sidelines. Other than that, you're looking at Ataya Allah, who's a left wing back, or a left back more than anything. So we'll see who it exactly is to come on. You just wonder whether potentially an Amrabat would slot into a centre-half position. We'll see who does come on as we approach the 20th minute in this game, and there is a change in the offing. It may even be Amala, so it may be a switch of formation completely here for Morocco, as Konate brings it out from the back for France. Switch into Varane on the centre circle, driving forward, ball into the feet of Giroud, turns it around the corner beautifully. Griezmann receives the ball from Mbappe, fires it forward once again, free kick against Mbappe. He took out the defender down there. I'll tell you what, Morocco don't need another defender that's injured.
No, they definitely don't, but it was a bit of a cynical challenge there from Mbappe. He just pushes him to the ground, and it is going to be Amala that's coming on, so we're just waiting for confirmation on who's going to be taken off. It is going to be Romain Saiss, so it's going to be a straight swap in that defensive area, so a real mismatch and change. We see replays here of Saiss signalling to the bench a few minutes ago that he needs to come off, so he's definitely not 100%. That's probably going to be his World Cup over, and it's a massive miss for their captain, isn't it, for Morocco, that leader in the back line. He's been so pivotal so far in the World Cup, so it'll be interesting to see whether they can hold out without him on the field. Yeah,
left hamstring issue he's had over the recent games, of course. That 90 minutes against Portugal, 120 minutes against Spain as well, which saw them go through on penalties, of course, 3-0. And Amala comes onto the field now. You would expect that will be a 4-3-3 for Morocco. Just seeing now, Mazraoui's definitely a left wing, a left back with centre halves of Dari and El Yamik. Amrabat now the man in between. I say a 4-3-3, it's more likely to be a 4-1-4-1, isn't it? And Amrabat will just slot into that central defensive position.
Yeah, he will. He's already doing it now. We see him just slotting into that back two to provide a little bit more cover, and he's going to drop deep now to receive the ball, try and orchestrate from deep, and it's going to be Amala and Unahi that will sit a little bit further forward. So it's definitely not panic stations just yet for Morocco. They've still got a decent shape. They've got the players on the field are definitely capable of taking something out of the game. It's not as if they're bringing on players who haven't played yet in the World Cup and players who aren't match fit, so not quite warning signs, but to lose their captain, such a big blow. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the course of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more or less man for man now, isn't it? Griezmann in that number 10 slot for France with Amrabat in the number 6. It's an opposite man for man sort of marking, and it's unfortunate, isn't it, for Khalid Regragui, because he's spotted a weakness in this French side and has decided to play the back five, and it's gone against him in the end due to injury, as out on the left hand side is Theo Hernandez for France. Just drops it back into Ibu Konate on halfway, once again sees that ball find the feet of Varane. Here's Tchouameni deep with the ball as Ndiziri presses him. Griezmann can't control that fizz ball towards him. Here comes Boufal. He's been impressive in this game as an Unahi so far. Boufal's just not had enough of the ball in the French half, because when he's had it, he's turned a defender every single time.
Yeah, he has, and that's what he does best. He's so skillful, such a good player, and in his time at Southampton, you always saw them flashes of brilliance from Sofiane Boufal, but he just never had that work rate to really work in the Premier League, did he? But in a situation like this, he's really shone, and we've seen it through this World Cup, so they need to get him on the ball. Him and Ziyech, so pivotal to this Morocco side. They need to see more of the ball, and if they do, you can definitely see them threatening.
Absolutely, and with a quarter of the game gone, France leading by a 0-0 thanks to Theo Hernandez on the 5th minute. Over to Harry to take us through to half-time.
Yeah, Morocco moving forward now, and they're enjoying a little bit of possession, and Hakimi's picked the ball up. It's going to be a free kick in favour of France, so a little bit unlucky there as Theo Hernandez goes down under the challenge from Achraf Hakimi, his opposite number, so France will have a chance to settle things down, but Morocco just about enjoying a bit of possession in the French final third, but to no avail there, as it's actually Sofiane Boufal who ended up making the foul, but I think Hakimi was just having a word with the referee after giving the referee a little bit of his mind. You know that he didn't think it was a foul, but nonetheless we're back underway with France in pretty steady possession. Raphael Varane is being pressed here by Unahi, but he's gone back to his goalkeeper. Lloris will pick it up outside of his own area. Morocco are happy to sit back, and they're not really wanting to press too much. If they do press, you'd think that France have the quality to pick out the weaknesses and the gaps.
Yeah, it's so frustrating, isn't it, for Morocco that they conceded that early goal. They've been probably the better team between the two boxes. It's just the finish and the Giroud effort that have been the closest effort so far in this game. Yeah,
it is, as France pick things back up. Fofana can't make anything stick, so Hakimi will have it, but he's slightly under pressure. He's gone back towards his defence, and Dari's now gone back to Bono, and he's under pressure from Olivier Giroud here, and they've had to play out from the back. They're playing with fire here, but nonetheless they've just about got away with it for the time being, and it's a nice pick up in the midfield by Amala, but a heavy challenge comes in there from Ibu Konate, and he's just going to have a word with the referee there, and he's holding his hands up to apologise. Ziyech went down under the challenge, and good play from Morocco. They were playing with fire there, but they managed to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see what France are trying to do, win the ball back early, and Konate has almost swung his leg in anticipation as to where the ball's going to go, and I think the Morocco man has almost gone to touch it and missed it himself, and therefore the ball didn't go there. But yeah, I mean, if your name is Ashraf Dari and you're playing centre-half with Morocco, the last man you want to see chasing at you when your goalkeeper gives you a hospital pass is Kylian Mbappe, and somehow he managed to get it away.
Yeah, he did well over on that far side, and now they're making inroads in the final third. Mazraoui with a throw-in on this near side, round about in line with the France penalty area. He's decided to go back though towards his own goal, and picked up there by Yamik. He finds Dari, who's just on halfway. Amrabat slotting in to create a temporary back three for Morocco when they're in possession. A little bit more stability, and here is Amrabat looking to progress forward. Giroud gives him a little nibble there, but he's held on to possession, and now Anahi switched away from Dembele. It's nice play from them. The referee's going to play advantage because they're in a good position here, Morocco, to try and break, and they've found a pocket of space out on the right hand side. Hakimi with the shot from range. It was blocked at the first line of defence, and now Kylian Mbappe will look to go on the counter attack. He's got pace for days, and he's absolutely opening up here, but it's a really poor back heel from him, and Unahi will pick it back up. It's going to be a free kick for Morocco, and Mbappe looked for a second like making a really nice counter-attacking move stick there, but a really lazy back pass allowed Morocco to receive possession once again.
Yeah, it's brilliant defending from Dari, chasing all the way back. Yes, he was beaten at one point by Mbappe, but he got himself back in position and just stopped the Frenchman from breaking forwards. He had to back heel it. Morocco won the ball back. It was brilliant refereeing as well, wasn't it, to allow the play to go on, to give Morocco that chance to go forward. The problem was they'd thrown so many men forward and there was a man down, and that allowed the counter-attack to come their way.
Ashraf Hakimi now picking things back up. It's a really nice turn there from Hakim Ziyech to beat Theo Hernandez, but Theo Hernandez's raw pace has done well to get the better of him, but the referee's going to give a free kick in favour of France, and he's going to pull his first card out of the evening, and it's going to go towards Sofiane Boufal, who came in with a sliding challenge on Theo Hernandez there, and Hernandez is down clutching his leg, and we're just going to see a replay here, and he's coming together a player. It's not a yellow card there. If anything, Hernandez initiates the contact. He's got the free kick, and now Boufal's on a yellow card.
It's a terrible decision from the referee. Boufal is chasing the ball. He dangles a leg. Never mind the yellow card. It's not even a foul. Theo Hernandez has slipped, almost knows he's going down, wipes out Boufal's legs, and then holds his knee complaining to the referee. It's never a free kick. It's never a yellow card. It's unlucky for Morocco because they had Hernandez troubling there. He's hurt here. His brother was injured earlier on in the competition in the first game, of course, after about 13 minutes, wasn't it? And that's why he's playing every single minute in this competition. But he got beaten over on that far side, and that's where it came from Hakim Ziyech over on that far side. They can exploit this French defence. It's open at times.
Yeah, it is, and if he does end up going off here, Theo Hernandez, they really have too many replacements in that left back area. I mean, they're very short of defenders as it is, let alone fullbacks. That is an area where you consider France to be their weakness, especially with Lucas Hernandez now out with an ACL injury for the best part of a year now. But Hernandez is back to his feet, and he looks like he's okay to continue. Still wincing though, and it was a bit of an impact injury. You can see why he went down holding his leg, but like you said, Matt, definitely not a foul there. He's initiated the contact himself, gone down, he's pulled the wool over the referee's eyes, he's pulled a fast one, and now Boufal has to be careful, and he's a player that we know likes to get stuck in, so he's no stranger to a foul, but he's got to be careful now.
Yep, absolutely he does, and he's probably been frustrated by the fact he's not received too much of the ball in an attacking position, has he, Sofiane Boufal? But if you're Morocco now, if Theo Hernandez has picked up that knock on his right knee and he's limping a little bit, give the ball to Ziyech, give the ball to Hakimi, just charge down that right-hand side, because Mbappe is not defending. It's Fofana, the inexperienced central midfielder, alongside Hernandez, and Hernandez is struggling. Just go for it down that right flank.
He got turned pretty easily there by Hakim Ziyech with a nice bit of skill. France back in steady possession now from the free kick. Chouameni and Fofana combining. Slightly under pressure there by the duo of Naziri and Amala, but they found their way out of that problem. But it's a really nice challenge there from Mazraoui to deny Antoine Griezmann, and now here comes Sofiane Boufal running at Jules Koundé. Done really well to turn away from the challenge, but Olivier Giroud picks things back up on halfway. It's really end-to-end stuff here in Qatar, but Giroud's gone down under the challenge from Amala. It's a silly one from him. Giroud wasn't really going anywhere, always backpedaling, and Amala comes flying in, little bit too keen, and it's going to be a France free kick.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything much more than just a run across, is it? There's nothing too much in that. Giroud's saying towards Amala that he's done something extra there. I don't think he did. Just nudged him and got the wrong side of him. Absolutely, it's a poor challenge from Amala. It's always going to be a free kick, isn't it? But just returning to Boufal. Brilliant move down the left-hand side. They swarmed him with blue men, didn't they, the French team, to make sure he couldn't dribble forward. Chopped back beautifully. There was an option in midfield. Amrabat was free, flicked it over his head and gave the ball away.
France back in possession. They've gone backwards from the free kick, didn't want to throw bodies forward, and you can see why, being 1-0 up. And under slight pressure in the last 5 or so minutes, they're happy to settle things down as Konate tries a long ball over the top, looking for Kylian Mbappe. Nice turn there from Hakimi though to bait Theo Hernandez into diving in for the header, and now they'll look to go forward here. Morocco, lovely chop back from Amala, and he's found Unahi in a nice pocket of space here, and they're creating a nice counter-attacking move. Ziyech picks things up on the right-hand side, chop back in on the left foot here. Hakim Ziyech still moving with it though. He's got options out on this left side. He does find Mazraoui, but Bafal's there in support. He does find him. The overlapping run from Mazraoui goes round, but Bafal will want to do this all on his own. Goes back towards Mazraoui, he plays a ball towards the edge of the box. It's up pretty nicely for Unahi, who goes for goal, but there was an offside in there. I think it was Sofiane Bafal who played the ball into Mazraoui in behind. He was a little bit lazy in getting back into position, and that's a good chance wasted.
Yeah, that's it exactly, Harry. Mazraoui just not trying to get back whatsoever. It was brilliant for Boufala, wasn't it? But I have to say, exceptional defending over on the far side by Aurélien Tchouameni. He covered across because everybody knew that Ziyech wanted to cut inside, but he's one of those players that you just can't stop. But Tchouameni managed to keep halting him, and meant that he couldn't put the ball in the box and had to play a square ball in the end. It's really good defending from the French, but a great break as well for Morocco, and a lot of encouragement they're getting from it.
Here they are as Hugo Lloris takes the free kick from the initial offside. It's gone long downfield, looking for Ousmane Dembele, and a nice flick on from Mazraoui stops it from going out for a throw, but that's a poor first touch for Unahi, but he's done really well to recover as they're back in possession with Amrabat now. He's got a bit of space in the midfield here. Sofiane Amrabat plays a lovely square ball to Amara, and now in behind, almost falls to En-Nesyri, but Ibrahima Konate with some fantastic last-ditch defending to stop the Moroccan from going through on goal, and that looked like he was certainly going to be bounding towards Hugo Lloris's goal. They're really growing into this game, Morocco, in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and France need to steady things down now. Apart from a little bit of last-ditch defending, they're looking slightly shaky at the back. Yeah,
what a piece of play that is from Konate to get that last foot in. It's a great-looking ball, isn't it, from Amrabat through the middle, and I tell you what, Amala, since he came onto the field, he's picking up some beautiful spaces, isn't he? And he was the one that turned just the last attack as well. He's finding out some fantastic places. They've got 3 in midfield when they're attacking. Amrabat likes to drop in, but they are 3 on, and if Griezmann stays higher up, it's 3 on 2 in the middle of the park. That's what we saw in the England game as well, wasn't it? When Harry Kane kept dropping in and supporting Henderson, Bellingham and Rice as well. And that's where England got their joy as well. And it's clear that the Moroccans have spotted that and they're looking to recreate it.
Got the best work rate in that midfield, France, with Griezmann liking to play up alongside Giroud, but they've got the ball back here from a nice bit of play, and that's a rash challenge coming in. He's flown in the Moroccan defender, and now Kylian Mbappe has a chance to cut in on the right foot, lays it off towards Tchouameni, who goes from range and it ricochets off his teammate in Olivier Giroud, and he will be in an offside position. But that was a dangerous counter-attack, and you just wonder what was the Moroccan defender doing there. Flying in, he got way too trigger happy, and he paid the price there as Mbappe got a really good chance.
Yeah, absolutely. You do not want Mbappe bearing down on goal. Unfortunately for Hernandez, because he was so rushed to play that ball, he fires it into the... Ooh, we just see a replay, of that Theo Hernandez tackle, the tackle on Theo Hernandez from Hakimi. That is dangerous. Not Hakimi, sorry, it's Dari, isn't it? With the right boot, straight on top of the ankle. He could be seeing some further action there.
Yeah, it's a very nasty challenge, but VAR have waved it off completely, so the play will continue, and he's got away with one there, Dari, because he flew in with the challenge. Like I said, way too trigger happy. Just wanted to halt the attack in the first chance of asking, but completely left him with egg on his face, as it was a really poor passage of play from Morocco. They switched off slightly, and Mazraoui almost doing enough to keep the ball in play there, but it's gone out for a corner. He didn't manage to keep it in. He was a little bit slow to get there. France will have a chance from the corner, and they'll throw bodies forward here, I'm certain. And Morocco just need to sharpen up slightly at the back. They've been caught out a couple of times there, and they definitely won't want to see a second goal go in before half-time.
No, absolutely. I like the attacking defending, if you can call it that, the quick press to win the ball back quickly. But Griezmann on this occasion, he's so spatially aware, isn't he? He just turns and plays the ball to the right-hand side. They do everything right just to win themselves a corner kick. It's a great chance for France.
Yeah, slightly flirting with danger with their high-line approach, Morocco, there, as they're trying to win the ball back as quick as they can, but for now it's working just about as Griezmann floats the corner in from the right-hand side. It's fallen pretty nicely there for Fofana, but he snatches at the effort. Was never going goal-bound. High, wide and handsome from the man who's just come into the French side. and they're not going to test Bono from there, so Morocco can just about steady the ship.
Yeah, I think it was Giroud who won the initial header, but he was stooping low and turning away from goal, wasn't he? So he was trying to create a miraculous backwards header to try and knock it into the back of the net, and then it fell to Fofana, as you said. And it was a great whip towards goal in the sense that it was a nice idea, but everything was wrong about the execution, flying high into the sky. Around about 10 minutes to go to halfway. Still France 1, Morocco 0, and if this is still 1-0 at the break, it's a really finely balanced second half.
Yeah, it will be, as the game's been full of action. We've not been short of decent moments and periods of play, but for now it still reads France 1, Morocco 0, and now Unahi will look to get his head up, play a ball into the midfield, and Amala's done really well to hold on to it, tries to pick out Unahi once again, but they've been dispossessed now, and Tchouameni has a chance to bound through on goal, and they've got an overlap here, France, as Mbappe finds himself in behind the defence. Can he get a chance on goal? It's lovely last-ditch defending. There's not going to be a free kick, but it's fallen to Olivier Giroud, who just fires wide. A massive chance for France to double their advantage. Olivier Giroud will find himself really unlucky tonight at the back of the net yet, and you can see by his expression he's wondering how he hasn't doubled his Tide's lead, as that's a massive opportunity, and Morocco have got away with one.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, Dari does brilliantly. Yes, he gets beaten by Kylian Mbappe, who is that fast, you just cannot stop him, but he does enough to put him off, and that means he can't get a clean strike, and it's cleared away, of course, by Bono. How Giroud has missed the target, I just do not know. It's a tap-in, isn't it? He just curl it into the bottom corner. He could have taken a touch. He had so much time, and then misses the target, and boy, could France rue these chances.
Yeah, they could really live to regret not taking these opportunities, as Morocco, we've seen already this evening that they do have the capabilities to threaten us. There's a really dangerous back pass to Bono there, who's probably about 30 yards off his goal line, and Griezmann was making inroads at him, but he did really well to eventually get the ball away. They played the ball down the line here, Morocco. En-Nesyri tries a little fake dummy, but hasn't fooled Raphael Varane there. You've got to do better to beat a multiple Champions League winner and World Cup winner in Raphael Varane, but there's a heavy challenge in the midfield there. I think it's Sofiane Boufal who went in. He's already on a yellow card. He's brought Tchouameni down, and he's got to be very careful here, as I've said, he's on a booking, and that was another stiff challenge. The referee not going to brandish another card and send him off, but definitely maybe if he wasn't already on a yellow, the referee might have had second thoughts.
I think it might have been Boufal on Griezmann. There was a question of a foul in that one, and then Amrabat, his fellow Sofiane, was the man for the bump on Tchouameni. Absolutely, it was late, and he knew it instantly that it was a dead-on foul. There was no question about it. And France are motoring, aren't they, now in this game? 8 attempts to 3. They're definitely the more dominant side, and it's because of the attitude of the Moroccan players to try and break forward and win that ball high. It's creating an entertaining game.
Yeah, the early goal really forced Morocco into changing their approach, playing a higher line, trying to win the ball back as quick as they can, and that's just opening the spaces up for this France side, who no doubt have the better quality in their side. But we know in the World Cup, it's not just about who the best players are, it's who can gel as a side and make things tick, and France are just going through the gears now. The ball's back with Hugo Lloris. He's just taken a couple of touches outside of his penalty area. Plays a long ball forward, looking for Giroud as well, just about to hold it up, but Amala will pick up the scraps. He can't find Amrabat now. Tchouameni has a chance to make inroads forward. He's gone back in towards Fofana. They'll just settle things down again now, France, and Konate under pressure from En-Nesyri there, but he'll go out towards Theo Hernandez. And now France just about steadying things down after a frantic 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's those little moments, isn't it? They won the ball back off Giroud, who was trying to back into the defender. Those little sloppy passes that are not going the Moroccans' way, which is inviting the French back onto them, and that's why they're dominating the game. Early stages, Morocco were the dominant side in terms of possession. Now it's completely turned the other way.
Trying to hold on to the ball here now, Morocco, but France are just forcing the errors. And what we would expect as Amrabat now tries to drift a ball over to the right-hand side. It was almost a nice ball, but it's allowed Hernandez to pick things up, and now Kylian Mbappe has a chance to run at the defence. He's being stood up by Hakimi, but it's fallen to Griezmann. Nice pass back into Tchouameni. They've got an overlap on the right-hand side. Koundé is there. Dembele makes a inverted run, and now Antoine Griezmann has a chance to get through on goal. A massive last-ditch challenge there by Yamik, who just about gets back. He's asking for a goal kick. He thinks Griezmann took the last touch, but Yamik does really well to keep up with Antoine Griezmann, and I think he may be right there. There was definitely a touch off Griezmann. Whether it was the last one or not, I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, France will have a corner.
Yeah, Griezmann just just drifting into those spaces, and he plays walking football almost in a shade of Messi-like, doesn't he? Just walks into the position, but it's the position where he knows that the correct pass is to be made. There was an option outside, wasn't it, for France, but just slip it into Griezmann, and then suddenly he turns on the afterburners, flicks the ball around the defender, and asks them to gamble on that last-ditch tackle. And this time, fortunately for Morocco, they make it stick, and it goes out for a corner.
Griezmann will take the resulting corner after winning it. Left-footed, in swinging ball. They've got all the height in the area, France, and the ball is driven low towards the near post, and Olivier Giroud, it's Raphael Varane who gets there first. He made that darting run towards the near post, tries to hook it goal bound. It flies to the outside of Bono's post. Whether he had it covered or not still begs the question, but it was a really good chance, just about going wide for France.
Yeah, nice little set-piece routine, wasn't it? It looked like a terrible ball initially, and then suddenly Varane comes out of nowhere. He gets a really good contact on it. He probably wants a worse contact on it. Get a little flick. He almost side-footed it, didn't it, in towards, well, it was wide of the right-hand bottom corner. It would have potentially caused Bono some issues there, but there were a couple of defenders to try and cover the option had the shot been on target, but a nice move nonetheless.
Morocco back in possession with Bono about 40 yards out of his goal line. No real press from France's front line, which is only to be expected given they are 1-0 up. They want to force Morocco into making errors, and a nice pass there from Amala trying to pick out Sofiane Boufal, and just got the ball caught underneath his feet there, and it will roll back towards Hugo Lloris, who takes his time in picking the ball up. Just ticked over the 40th minute in this World Cup semi-final. France 1, Morocco 0. Lloris just rolls the ball out to Raphael Varane. Tchouameni steps in to receive the ball into his feet, and Nassiri doesn't really want to give much of a press in that front line for Morocco, but France will play out from the back pretty steadily with Jules Koundé, the Barcelona man. Just play back in towards Raphael Varane, and now they're working the ball from right to left, and now Iba Konate will hold things up.
I think there's been a slight change in the midfield for Morocco. I think Ounahi and Amala have switched sides. Amala was initially on the right, Ounahi on the left, but now they've just switched sides. Perhaps maybe a defensive ploy over on the far side for Mbappe, maybe an attacking change on the near side, because Amala, he's so full of positive energy, isn't he? Every time he gets the ball, he wants to turn quickly and play it forward. He's just a little bit erratic at times, but yeah, just a notable switch in the middle of the park there, with Amrabat, of course, in between the two.
Morocco playing out from the back here, and once again France not really giving a press, as Yamik has his head up. Looked like he wanted to play a switch ball over to the far side, but he plays a tiny one into the feet of Ounahi, and now it's with Mazraoui on this near side, under pressure from Ousmane Dembele. He'll try a ball over the top of the defence. They're looking for a hopeful run in behind. It was more of a percentage ball for Naziri to try and give chase, but went over everyone, and it seems like Morocco are slightly running out of options here, and they're trying the Hail Mary time and time again. It's not quite sticking. They need to get the ball on the floor and try and find gaps in the French defence. Yeah,
I don't mind the long ball too much, in the sense that it's got to go in between the midfield and defensive lines. It's got to allow the defender to the attacker to back into the defence and control it with his feet, as you say, as opposed to turning in behind, because Varane and Konate are blessed with pace, and they're dropped a little bit deeper, and they're going to cover everything. And not just that, Hugo Lloris is very quick off his line as well, isn't he? It's a little bit sloppy at times, isn't it, from Morocco?
Yeah, Ziyech did really well there to get the ball back, but he's played a real hospital pass into the midfield. Fortunately for him, it was picked up by a teammate. Lost once again, but France can't make it work, as Mazraoui playing with danger once again, as Dembele can't quite snatch the ball away from him. They're really cutting it fine here, Morocco. They're trying everything, and they're not afraid to take their chances, which you have to applaud, but just begs the question, how long is that going to work for us? Ounahi tries a ball in behind the defence. It's a really nice one for Hakimi to latch onto. Konate comes in with a sliding challenge, and it will go out for a corner for Morocco, and they have a chance to throw the bodies into the box now.
Yeah, they're taking every risk in the book, aren't they? Amrabat, they're playing it out from the back down that right-hand side, just whipping it around the corner. Good slide from Konate, wasn't it? He was trying to slide to block the cross as opposed to tackle, and therefore the cross did come off him last for a corner kick. But yeah, it's a very open game, and it has been since minute one.
Keep Ziyech on the far side, looking to take the set piece. We know he's a fantastic striker of the ball. Floats in a dangerous delivery, as and when he pleases, really. He's got plenty of options to aim at in the middle. Yeah, left-footed in swinging ball from the Chelsea winger. He's got a height in the area to threaten this France goal. He delivers it in towards the front post, and arriving was Darien. Overhead kick shot comes in, and it's just ricocheted off the post, and Morocco had a massive chance there. The danger's still not cleared. Boufal with a second attempt and I think it was Yamik who gets up with the overhead kick, and it's rattled off the post, and that could have really made for an interesting second half if that flowed in the back of the net.
What an effort that is. It's whipped in beautifully, isn't it? The corner to the near post, and it's French panic at the back. It's Dembele who's just not strong enough going for the ball, and El Yamik just whips the foot over the top of his own head and just curls the ball towards that bottom left-hand corner. And I tell you what, it's a combination of Lloris and the post which stops it hitting the back of the net.
You just wonder if Lloris didn't get a touch to that. It could have been heading goalwards, and you see his reaction there. I think he's realised he's just about saved his side there. Lloris, for the second time this evening, has come up with a massive save to deny Morocco an equalising chance. And they haven't had many chances in the last 5 or 10 minutes. They've been slightly under the cosh, Morocco, but that flew in the back of the net. You just think the stadium erupts. The momentum's back in their favour, and what a time to grab a goal it would have been. And just before the break, but they're coming forward once again here. Over on the far side, Unahi's trying to beat Konate, but you'd struggle to beat the Liverpool man for strength, but he just about managed to get away from it, and Ziyech almost manages to make a move work on that far side, but he has won a corner. We're going to see 3 additional minutes of time added on to the mandatory 45, but they've got a chance here, Morocco. They're building pressure, and they've got a corner.
It's brilliant from the Moroccan team, isn't it? Yes, they were battling over on that far side, and Konate beat Unai to it. All ends up Hakimi just gambling, going for the ball and winning it back, and therefore winning a corner in the end. It's brilliant. Added time, put the pressure on the French. It's exactly what they're doing. Another corner.
Yeah, they've got another chance. Can Ziyech deliver an equally fantastic delivery? It'll be a left-footed one once again towards the back post. Hakimi gets up, Lloris spills it, but he clambers and holds on to the second attempt. Nobody was there to cause him any sort of problems. Hakimi was the only man really giving any sort of press on the French captain, and they've managed to bundle it, and they've got away with another one there, and there's only minutes until half-time.
Yeah, I just wonder whether, if they had knocked the ball into the back of the net, whether VAR would have judged that one to have been a foul. Nonetheless, Lloris just about did enough to scramble the ball in the end. It wasn't as good a ball, was it? It was deeper towards the far post, and everybody was at the near post for Morocco. Referee chases over now. Well, they're unnecessarily just saying to Boufal and Koundé to calm down. They were both calm, even though they'd had a shoulder-to-shoulder. As I tell you who's not calm, it's Regraoui who's going for it on the sidelines, telling his team to push forward in these final moments.
For a second, the referee was having a word with Ali Regraoui, but no, he was having a word with Boufal. And there's another chance here. Hakimi delivers a ball in the box, cleared away by Konate. Hakimi will allow that to roll out for another throw-in, and they've got potentially one more opportunity here, Morocco, before the half-time whistle is blown. Hakimi with the ball in hand, tries to give it in towards Sofiane Boufal, who's drifted over towards that right-hand side. He's being stood up there by Fofana, and the referee will give a foul in favour of Morocco. So a really good chance for Ziyech, to float a ball in the box. It's a bit more of a favourable angle for the Chelsea man, and I think Boufal was asking there for a potential yellow card. He felt like that was worthy of one. Referee having none of it, but a good chance from the free kick.
I think Theo Hernandez is rattled in this game. He's made so many fouls, and that's perhaps why they were calling for the yellow card, but it's a great opportunity. Final seconds of the first half. Ziyech once again from perhaps a better angle. If he can whip this one towards the far post, where it's going to go in if nobody touches it, and cause Hugo Lloris those issues. Do I come? Do I stay? It could be a great chance here. Final moments.
Yeah, Ziyech standing over the set piece, delivers it in towards the penalty area, and Lloris comes out, can only punch it away out towards Amrabat, and he's being chased down by Kylian Mbappe. He's been dragged to the floor there, Amrabat, and Mbappe will be penalised. Referee giving a free kick in favour of Morocco. Mbappe just slides the ball away cheekily there, but they'll have the words, the Morocco players, with the referee. Amala is right in the referee's face. He's wanting a foul in the penalty area. We just see Chouameni there with his hands all over the back of Amala there. Nothing will be given, I don't think, but they will have a free kick around about 40 or 45 yards out.
Yeah, never a penalty. Amala going down a little bit too soft from the too many touches. Here comes Ziyech,
But he floats the ball into the box. It's an early one. Amala can't get there, and that will be, I'm pretty sure, everything we'll see in this first half. The referee blows his whistle to sound the end of a really entertaining first half of World Cup action. It's here, semi-finals. France go into the break 1-0 against Morocco.
Theo Hernandez in the 5th minute of that first half put France in a very, very commanding position. Morocco, they fought, but they just couldn't get the ball past Hugo Lloris in that first half. The closest they came was an overhead kick from their centre half, El Yamik. It's a second half which has a lot of promise to see who will face Argentina in the World Cup final on Sunday. It's myself, Matt Guy and Harry Jones alongside me. Doesn't look as though there's been any changes at half-time, Harry, but it certainly could continue to live up to the billing this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a great first half, wasn't it? Just end-to-end gripping action. It had a feel of we were in the last 10 minutes of the game for the whole of the first half. That's what it felt like. And well, Morocco threw everything they could at France, and they had some great opportunities. Lloris has been absolutely rock solid in between the sticks. He's denied Morocco their 2 best chances. So they've had the chances to get in and get at this France side, but then at the same time, France could easily be 3 or 4 goals up. Giroud missing a couple of vital opportunities that could have really killed the game off before it had even started. So each way you look at it, it could have gone either way, and I'm just excited to see this second half.
Yeah, absolutely. I said there was no changes at half-time. I believe there's been one for Morocco, and Mazraoui has come off at left-back, and Atia Allah has come on to replace him as Amala chases through the midfield. Now, he was an early first-half substitute, came onto the field, of course, for Romain Saïss, who went off injured, the Moroccan skipper, as the Atlas Lions sliding for a challenge here and give the ball to Mbappe down the left-hand side, going past Amrabat. Can he put in a shoulder? No, he can't. Here comes the Frenchman, drives across the face of goal, smashes it right across the face of goal and over everybody. There's Jules Koundé with the volley, blocked away in the end by Amala, who had got back to defend. Well, 2 minutes into the second half, and France had a good chance.
Yeah, it's electric pace from Kylian Mbappe. There's not a player on the planet that can keep up to him when he's in that sort of flow state. Amrabat did his best to try and put him off, but ended up face down on the floor, which is not really something that you could. You got to hold your head high when Kylian Mbappe puts you on the floor like that, because he does it to absolutely every player on the planet. See him do it week in, week out, and he gets to the byline. It was just a poor ball, wasn't it? He was looking for Giroud, completely overhit his pass, got a bit too trigger happy, and flew back towards the far post. Nobody could really get on the end of it, but France definitely starting as they finish the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. The French team then unchanged from the first half as Griezmann picks up the ball, slides it through towards Mbappe, bursting into the box, goes down, asking for a penalty, never says the referee there, Cesar Ramos. In fact, I think Bono may have been caught by Kylian Mbappe reaching with his right boot. The referee just calming things down now for the goalkeeper, who's holding his right chin. I think just an unfortunate one, that one in the end. The ball was slipped a little bit too strongly by Antoine Griezmann, who's the competition's leading assist maker, or joint leading assist maker in this competition so far. Yeah, it's just a held out right leg, isn't it? A right boot from Mbappe, no intention whatsoever.
Yeah, if anyone else is marking Mbappe there, he's probably got a clean strike on goal, but the fact that it's Achraf Hakimi, sorry, it just means that he just does enough to put him off. He can just about keep up with him, can't he, Hakimi? I mean, I say keep up with him, he was a yard behind, but he's done enough there to just put the Frenchman off. As we just see a replay there, he did catch Bono right on the shin with the studs, but more so just an outstretched leg trying to win the ball.
Yep, the Moroccan side, then it will run you through those as there have been changes throughout the game, of course. It's a back 4 now as Bono between the sticks. It's Hakimi, El Yamik and Dari, the centre halves, with Atia Allah, who's come on at left back, sorry, for Mazraoui at the break. Mazraoui, Agard and Saïss were all just about fit enough to start the game, or were they not? Because Agard had to go off before the game even started. Saïss off in the 21st minute, and now Mazraoui off at half-time. As Ziyech down the right-hand side flicks the ball inside for Unai, who puts in a tackle on Theo Hernandez, who just unbalanced flicks the ball down the left-hand side. Was the ball kept in play? Yes, says the referee, and Hakimi will bring the ball forward. Early cross to come into the box. It's a poor one as well from the PSG man. Easily clipped away by France. Then Ousmane Dembélé loses it to Atia Allah down the left-hand side. It's Unahi and Amrabat are the 2 central midfielders, with Boufal, Ziyech and En-Nesyri the attackers in the team tonight, as Unai takes over the ball on the centre circle, driving forward, finds Hakimi, looks to his right, looks to his left, looks to slip the ball through. Does he? No. Finds Ziyech on the right hand side. He's now the makeshift captain in this side after Saïss went off. Hakimi looking to whip the ball to across the front post there. Hakim Ziyech. Mbappe goes down very, very easily under a bit of a nudge from Dari. No foul, says the referee. And once again, Morocco will keep coming forward. They will not lose hope as this game goes on, as 5 substitutes warm up from the bench. They've already had to make a couple, still 3, of course, to go. one before kickoff does not count. 5 minutes into the second half, independent unofficial off-tube studio commentary. France 1, Morocco 0. Picked up at the back now by El Yamik, down the right-hand side to Ziyech. Good flick on towards Hakimi. Quick 1-2. Hakimi into the box, looks to square one across the face of goal, blocked by Konate. There's a really good burst and a quick 1-2 between those two on the right-hand side. In the end, the cross couldn't come in as Mbappe looks to chase down the left-hand side. Knocks it all the way down the flank, wins the ball twice. He's bursting in behind Amrabat, who's putting on the afterburners himself to come across. Sliding challenge comes in. Ball goes bouncing over the top of the two. Mbappe stays down. Amrabat drives the ball away. Referee says no free kick, no foul, and Morocco will come forward. Down the right-hand side, Unahi playing it over the top. There's Lloris, puts a left boot through the ball. Out of play it goes, and Harry can summarise that for us.
Yeah, it was a really dangerous challenge for Amrabat, wasn't it? But he's got it absolutely spot on. Came flying in on Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe goes down, expecting a free kick, and he stayed down, and it's the wrong decision from the Frenchman. He's tried to pull the wool over the referee's eyes. It's not going to work though. Amrabat does really well to get back, because Mbappe was absolutely electric down that left-hand side, tried to square it back to Giroud, and he's now receiving treatment, but it's a completely correct decision from the referee. Amrabat does absolutely exceptionally well to stop Mbappe there, because I could say that's a definite goal if he gets that wrong.
Yeah, it was shades of Gareth Bale against Mark Bartra in the Copa del Rey final, wasn't it? Kicked the ball down the line, ran off the pitch, sprinted around the defender. As you said, Amrabat did brilliantly. The thing that told for me as we saw the replay just then, Kylian Mbappe, as soon as the tackle has been made, he doesn't close his eyes in pain at his left ankle. He looks at the referee. That tells me that it's not a serious injury. He does get back to his feet now. Received a little bit of treatment. He's fine, absolutely fine. The game has stopped for him. The Moroccan fans are chanting all in unison, clapping as they do so. 52 minutes gone in this game. Still only one the difference to France. And the Moroccan fans believe that their team can get back into this one. They've had their moments. They've hit the post through El Yamik's overhead kick in the first half. With Emmanuel Macron, the French president, and Gianni Infantino, of course, the FIFA president, watch on from the sidelines, and eventually the game gets back underway. Correct decision from the referee. Brilliant desire from Amrabat.
Yeah, it was fantastic from him. I mean, it's difficult when you see a player like Mbappe bounding on goal. It's almost like you're fighting a losing battle. And some players, they just give up and think, well, we know what's happening here. But he didn't. He fought, and it's a tale of Morocco at the World Cup so far, fighting all the time as the ball comes into the box, and it's fallen pretty nicely, and they've missed a massive opportunity. It's Atia Allah who's tried to get on the end of it, the recent substitution, and he's made an absolute hash of it.
Yeah, what a chance it was. It was a combination of Ziyech and Boufal down the right-hand side. Boufal, the man drifting wings, he put the ball into the box. It came back towards Atia Allah on the volley, just completely sliced it. Looking to get in behind now once again. Atia Allah into the box, looks to cut back on his right boot. Left-footed ball across the face of goal. Konate with a wonder sliding tackle to turn that ball away. There's Amrabat, shoots from distance and hooks that one wide of the post. What a tackle from Konate.
Yeah, that's massive. That's everything they need of France. Throwing bodies on the line. That's what Konate brings to this side. He doesn't mind doing the dirty work, but what a passage of play it was from Morocco there. TLR completely does Jules Koundé there, and he's left him looking pretty silly as he plays the ball across the face of goal. En-Nesyri was going to tap into an empty net if it wasn't for that Liverpool man. Ibrahima Konate does fantastically, and he quite possibly single-handedly saved France from relinquishing their one-goal advantage.
Yeah, Morocco have been fabulous in this second half, haven't they? As we see that replay of the previous effort, which I think Varane flicked the ball away from En-Nesyri, and it came back towards Atia Allah, who just completely swung and missed it. But what an opportunity. Just back-to-back, they create chances, don't they? They create them in spurts, do Morocco, and it just puts the defence under so much pressure. And Atia Allah is at the forefront of both of those. He's already in the second half got forward more than Mazraoui did in the first half, which just shows, on paper, it may be a Bayern Munich man for Atia Allah, who's perhaps less of an established career, but he's creating danger already.
Yeah, he is. He's been absolutely fantastic since coming on. He's looked dangerous, and he's added that injection of pace that they needed on that left-hand side that Mazraoui wasn't bringing. I think he was too cautious about allowing Dembele to roam free. He's had a very quiet game himself, I should add. Dembele not really got involved in the game, and now Atia Allah has just come alive on that left-hand side, and I'm really excited to see how he links up with Sofiane Boufal.
Yeah, it should be a free kick probably down the right-hand side as Unai was taken down on the 1-2 with Hakimi. That's a key point already in this second half. 10 minutes gone, it's France 1, Morocco 0 in this second half. Hakimi has already played a couple of quick 1-2s down the right-hand side, and it's found themselves in behind the French defence. They've had around about 50% possession. Of course, this new stat of in-contest possession that we see popping up on our screens. 49% plus 14 in contest for Morocco. Here's Ziyech down the right hand side. Step over from him. Perhaps didn't choose the correct ball down the line, but instead cuts inside, fires it into the feet of El Yameek. He sells that pass poorly straight into the feet of Jules Koundé. Great battling from Sofiane Boufal. Puts in a tackle as Koundé was pressured all the way as he tried to play a long ball and deflecting out for a throw-in over on the far side. It's gone once again. Koundé and Hernandez are the weak points in this French defence, and the Moroccans are going for them.
Yeah, they are, and I said in the first half that's where France do struggle, is their fullbacks, and they don't really have any options to bring on in their replacement. I mean, Benjamin Pavard is there for France to use if they do need him, but I'm not sure they want to make that change. If they're going to bring someone on, it would probably be to strengthen in a better area rather than a right-back position. But he's not exactly the replacement you're looking for. He's a bit better maybe defensively, but Jules Koundé out of position in that right-back role. You can tell he doesn't look too comfortable. He's a natural centre-half who can play at right-back, and he's been caught out time and time again, as has Theo Hernandez. Despite scoring the goal, they have been the two weaklings.
Absolutely, and here come Morocco once again down the right-hand side. In for Unai, he tries to turn over the ball. Left foot across to come in, it's deflected in towards Hakimi. Can't take it under his control. Griezmann in the end. Griezmann of all players, the man getting back furthest back for France. Mbappe goes down under challenge, no free kick. Here come Morocco once again, down the right-hand side. It's played in towards Ziyech, goes down the line against Hernandez, who gets a good toe in. Surely a corner. No, says the referee. I think it's going to be a goal kick in the end, but Morocco are putting so much pressure on this French defence.
Yeah, they've really turned the tide here, and we just see Kylian Mbappe has gone down there and his laces have completely snapped on his boots, so he's going to need replacements there, as he can't even tie his shoelaces back up now. But going back to these massive chances for Morocco, it almost sat really favourably for Achraf Hakimi there, but just didn't quite work the way he wanted it to, and he was his through on goal if it got its way into his path, but it just wasn't meant to be, was it? And they're piling on this pressure now. They started the second half fantastically, and it's the change that they needed. They needed to come out firing on all cylinders, and they're really taking the game to France now, who look shaky.
Yep, absolutely. I can't believe it just seeing that replay. Antoine Griezmann, the furthest man in defence, just nips in perfectly, because Hakimi just had a tap in if he got to the ball first. Instead, it's Griezmann who just taps the ball away and flicks it away. Mbappe is up to his feet now. He certainly got a little bit of a catch, didn't he? But there was a foot across, and there was a deflection on the ball, and it doesn't take all that much contact to snap a lace. And in fact, it just needs one touch to catch it in the wrong way and the momentum to go the other way, and it gets snapped. And it doesn't happen too often, but there Mbappe goes off. We'll change his left boot. We'll wait to see if that's a wonder boot that's going to come on now. You never know. I mean, these football players, they have them moulded, don't they, to their feet these days, and they'll have about 20 pairs back in the locker room. Fortunate for him, he's got a left boot which fits perfectly on the sidelines. Giroud battling in the air as France continue with a man down at the moment. Morocco have completed a whole 120 passes more than France in this game so far, as Fofana brings it forward, opens up the play down the right hand side, but only opens it up to El Yameek, who could see the ball drift out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a bit shaky there from Fofana in the midfield. I think he was expecting that running behind from Ousmane Dembélé. It was never going to work. Bit of miscommunication between the pair, but it's getting scrappy in the midfield, isn't it? Challengers flying in on all cylinders. I mean, there was an advantage there to Morocco. They then lost the ball out. They threw another body in it. France then got an advantage themselves, and the game's really starting to open up. I think France have noticed the danger now, and that Morocco aren't going to sit back and lay easy. So they need to maybe go and grab a second here, France. They can't really rest on their laurels and see out a 1-0 win, especially with the best part of half an hour to come. I think they've noticed the danger, and they may need to get bodies forward. Yeah,
they're dropping deeper and deeper, aren't they? Ousmane Dembélé is basically an extra right back alongside Jules Koundé in this second half. They have been bringing on the likes of Kingsley Coman, haven't they, as this tournament has continued, and maybe that may be a ploy, not just in the defensive work rate, but also getting forward, because these French players, the attackers have all played every single game, bar the last group game, of course, which they did fall to the sword of Tunisia. But down the right-hand side, here comes Boufal. He keeps switching wings. They don't know where to track him, this French defence. Ball in towards the edge of the box. That's good play from Tchouameni. Turns it out to Griezmann. He has so many eyes in his head. He picks out the perfect pass to Giroud. Giroud in behind towards Mbappe, chasing forward. Questions of offside, cuts inside on his right boot. Then finds Griezmann. Left boot, 25 yards out. Strikes at goal. Deflection just wide.
It's a massive opportunity there for France, but there is an offside flag, so it wouldn't matter anyway. I think it's the ball that was slipped into Kylian Mbappe from Olivier Giroud. I think he just held on to it for a second too long there. You see Mbappe open up the burners, and Giroud just takes an extra touch or two. Mbappe is a good 5 yards offside or so, so definitely easy for the linesman to make his decision. But France, they're the areas where they're going to catch Morocco out when they throw bodies forward in a bid to equal the game. France have got that pace in behind of Mbappe. He's electric, and even Achraf Hakimi, who's one of the quickest players on the planet, is struggling to keep up with him.
Yeah, absolutely. They're overloading on this near side, Morocco, but that means when they do so, it means there's gaps for Kylian Mbappe, but at the moment Boufal's in the middle. Amala's trying to break forward down, well, a central left-hand position, and Unahi, Hakimi and Ziyech are all coming to the right. We've barely seen anything of En-Nezouri, up top, have we, for Morocco this game? It's been one of those, he's been quite isolated, but he's pressing from the front as Griezmann brings the ball away. Does he get caught? Yes, says referee Cesar Ramos. Free kick just inside the Moroccan half, and that early Moroccan 15 minutes of pressure or so in this second half is slowly coming to the end as French are getting a little bit more joy now on the ball.
Yeah, they are, and it was never going to keep up, was it, for the whole 45 minutes? It was bound to slow down at some point, and just begs the question whether did they need to take one of them chances? Was that their last chance? But they've still got a long time to go. Can easily get back into this game, but I think as the game progresses, France will slowly take a hold of things and just settle things down if they still 1-0 up.
Yeah, Amrabat putting a good foot in there against Antoine Griezmann, and turns beautifully, full 360 in the middle of the park, opens it up to the left-hand side, and I tell you what, Amala didn't know too much about who was next to him. In the end, he bundles it through, but in the end, it's turned away by France, and they win a quick throw-in over on the far side, do Morocco now, and Atia Allah takes that one quickly into the feet of El Yamik. El Yamik and Dari, two centre-halves that have not played in the back four together in this competition, thanks to Roman Saiz-Senegad, who are now out of play with injuries. And here comes Ziyech down the right side. There's an overlapping run once again from Unahi. He's had legs for days in this game as Theo Hernandez puts in a foot. He recognises it's going out for a Morocco throw and just keeps the ball in for now and flicks it down the line, gifting possession back to the Atlas Lions. Here is Ziyech dropping deeper on this right-hand side to try and orchestrate things with that wand of a left boot of his. Here comes Hakimi. Plays it inside into Dari, square across the back, and I say it's across the back, but it's well inside French territory with El Yamik, now with Amrabat. Giroud pushing up against him, invites Dari to come forward, does the central midfielder. Now out to the right hand side is Boufal once again, looking to maybe trick one way then the other, up against Fofana, puts in a shoulder, Boufal coming back, he whips it into the box, and guess who's there again? It's the white hair of Antoine Griezmann. He's been more of a central defensive midfielder than an attacker in this game.
Yeah, he has, and he's needed to be, because they're overloading Morocco. They're getting bodies forward, and Griezmann's forced into following Amrabat when he does push forward, and now he's getting in them sort of half pockets in between the midfield and the defence, and they're causing all sorts of problems. Griezmann's forced into sitting almost in a flat three with Chouameni and Fofana, and it's working for Morocco so far because they're pegging them back, and when France do get the ball away from them, they've only really got Mbappe to rely on in behind. Once
again, an overload on the right hand side. Ziyech with a cross in towards the far post. Good positioning from Varane, heads that one away, chested down by Konate, who's well out of position there. Mbappe touching the ball down out of the sky, is pressed quickly by the defender in Dari, who gets in a brilliant position, and sliding across there is Unahi. Dari's a little bit frustrated with him, thinking that Dari could have kept it in play, but I think Unahi did the right decision just to kill all momentum there.
Yeah, you don't want to take chances with Kylian Mbappe, do you? The second he gets that touch on the ball, if he's lost Dari there's no catching him, so can't take anything away from Unahi. He just wants to deal with the danger as easily and as efficiently as he can, and he slid in, giving away the throw-in, but it allows his team to drop back now, and now they're in a better position to defend. Yeah,
absolutely. Konate playing the ball across the back towards Raphael Varane, and once again, Jules Koundé is basically alongside Raphael Varane, isn't he? And Amala has been given the job when attacking of just occupying Koundé and saying, Boufal, you cut inside and overload this right-hand side. They're just not even bothering attacking down the left-hand side so far in the second half, Morocco, as that's a good flick on by Griezmann in towards Dembele. First time he's been on the ball in the second half, whips it in towards Giroud. Nowhere near Giroud, in fact. It goes in behind him, past the penalty spot and out to Achraf Hakimi on the right-hand side. He chops it inside to Amrabat. He then looks for a searching ball into midfield, almost a hospital ball in towards Amala, but Ziyech comes into play as well and just sweeps things up for the moment. It's 64 minutes gone in this game. Independent, unofficial, off-tube studio commentary. France 1, Morocco 0 in the second semi-final of this year's Qatar World Cup. Of course, the winners of this one will join Argentina in the final, who strolled to victory against a disappointing Croatia side in the other semi-final last evening. Boufal coming forward, also being disappointing there as he plays it straight out of play for a throw-in. Looking towards the Morocco bench now, looks as though there's probably going to be another change. We await to see exactly who will come onto the field. We've got the likes of Amdallah and Aboukalal who have come on already in this competition. Aboukalal scoring that second goal against Belgium, and it's not just the Moroccans who are going to make a change. Giroud is going to come off for France. He's had a very frustrating evening. He's missed a couple of opportunities, hasn't barely seen the ball in the second half.
No, he hasn't, and he's looked leggy every time. He's been in behind, he's been walking around, Marcus Thuram is going to come on and replace him. He just adds that little bit more zip in the final third, doesn't he? He's going to add them legs that France desperately need when they break on the counter-attack. Giroud's not a player who plays on the counter-attack, and it just looks like that's how they're going to set up. Maybe Mbappe, I think, is now going to go through the middle. Marcus Thuram out on the left, and here he is.
Yeah, trying to cut inside on his right boot. Eventually flicks the ball through. What does the referee say? No free kick. Thuram perhaps just stumbling himself, and in the end, it's Dari just having to give away the corner kick, just taking no chances there. Dari just putting the ball out of play. He's one of those, isn't he, Giroud? He's a fantastic player. He's the record goal scorer, isn't he, for France now with 53 goals, but it's just been one of those evenings for him. He's had those in the past, and it's just not gone his way. Here comes the change then for Morocco, and it is going to be Abderrazak Amdallah who's going to come onto the field, as is Aboukalal. So 2 changes for Morocco. We'll see exactly how they line up with these changes. Fresh legs around the field. El Naziri and Boufal are both coming off. So 2 big hitters coming off, it has to be said, and some fresh legs. I wonder how that's going to affect the game, but let's not forget it is a France free corner kick. Sorry, no, it's not actually. The player has come back. It's been adjudged to have come off the Frenchman last. So just a corner kick. Hamdallah and Aboukalal to come onto the field. Aboukalal will go to the left-hand side as Amdallah up top, and we'll see how the Moroccans shape up now. Maybe a little bit more balance as Boufal's not on the field to drift across the field.
No, definitely not, but then you've just got to ask the question. If this does go to extra time and, God forbid, penalties, they've got 2 really tried and trusted takers there in Boufal and in Nasiri that they can't rely on now if it does end up going to that sort of situation. So it's a really risky move for the manager, but will it pay off, and will they be able to avoid penalties and even win it in normal time?
Absolutely. Atir Allah just going down the left-hand side. They're putting a cross in that was deflected, but fortunately for Hugo Lloris, it bounced straight into his hands at the near post, thanks to Aboukalal. No thanks to Aboukalal, sorry, at the near post, who jumped to try and win the ball. Questions of offside. In fact, it would have been offside in the end over on that far side. Atir Allah adjudged to have just strayed the mark there. And, yeah, I didn't even think about penalties for a second. El Naziri, as I said, has barely touched the ball, but he's guaranteed to take a penalty, isn't he? Basically the number 9 in this side, and Amdallah, who replaces him, who is the official number 9, will probably have to step up to the SWAT should we get there. But we've got a good hour of football before we get there, haven't we, Harry? As Thuram turning on the left-hand side now, trying to go down the left flank, doubling up are the Moroccan defenders. Hakimi putting a couple of feet in there. That's surely a foul against Thuram, and that's what the warming up French players say on the sidelines. And yes, it will be free kick. Silly challenge.
Yeah, it is very silly. Thuram's got his back to goal, going nowhere, always going to be forced off the field. Just didn't need to make that decision there. Hakimi just bundles into the back of him, and now it allows France to throw bodies in the box. They've got the height there, and the defenders who will most certainly be arriving in. They've got Antoine Griezmann, a fantastic set-piece taker, just completely unnecessary. Now Hakimi has got to defend for his life in a situation where they can't be giving away too many easy chances.
Absolutely. 68 minutes gone then. It's France's 7th semi-final. It's the Moroccans and an African team's first semi-final. Griezmann over the ball. He's got 3 assists this World Cup already. Can he make it 4, Harry, to take us through to full-time?
Griezmann floats the ball in towards the penalty area, and it's beaten absolutely everybody there. Konate was arriving, so was Fofana. But it's fallen quite nicely there to Jules Koundé, who helps it out towards the right-hand side. Kylian Mbappe cuts back on the left foot. Mbappe with a shot on goal. It's been blocked at the first line of defence, and Morocco scrapping the ball clear. Massive opportunities to come there, but the referee and linesman deem an offside, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. But a huge block there. I think it was from El Yamik, who got down and got low. But Mbappe can't finish the job.
Yeah, not just that, but a brilliant jump from Hakimi as well to put Varane off for an easy header at the far post. It's brilliant awareness, I have to say, from Jules Koundé. Very quiet and less than impressive evening, it has to be said, but he just hung on to the ball and played a beautiful ball to Mbappe. But here come down the right-hand side, France.
Yeah, Dembele making inroads on the Morocco defence. He did really well there, spun past a couple of players with pure pace, but he was just stopped in his tracks. One too many red shirts in his way. So Morocco back in steady possession, and it's not going to work that time for Dembele.
I was just thinking, Harry, I thought it was Mbappe's golden left boot there. I just remembered it was his left boot that he changed a few moments ago, and it was a left boot that he struck on there but for El Yamik's block.
It was, not sure whether it would have counted anyway, as the offside flag was raised, but here come Morocco. A really poor pass there from Amdallah in the middle, but he can't make anything work. And now here comes Marcus Thuram making inroads on the defence. He's still flying forward. A big challenge comes in. That's definitely going to be a foul, and I was guessing a yellow card there. The challenge came in from Dari. He's shaking his head to the referee, but I'm not sure what game he's watching there. as he completely took out Marcus Thuram, who was flying in on goal.
I tell you what, if he wants to play rugby, that's a fantastic little shove of a challenge, isn't it? It's a really poor one. He's just leant straight into the French attacker, shoved him completely to the ground. I do have to say, though, in putting Mbappe down the middle, there's a little bit less threat on that counter-attack in terms of pace down the left with Thuram.
Yeah, they're not being as direct through the middle. Thuram doesn't quite have the legs that Kylian Mbappe possesses, but nonetheless they've got a chance here. It's not going to be a counter-attack, it's going to be a set piece here from Antoine Griezmann, throwing bodies in the box. Varane's up there, Fofana, Konate, they're all in and around the penalty area, prying, waiting for an opportunity to get a strike on goal. And they finally put the game to bed and get the job done. You think at 2-0, steep, and the hill will be way too high to climb for Morocco. But for now, they're still hanging on. Only one goal is the deficit. Griezmann with the left-footed ball in towards the penalty area. He floats it in towards the back post, and a good header comes in there by Marcus Thuram, I think, who gets up in the end. It is Thuram who was flying in at the back post, could not head it. Goal was Bono, rooted to his spot, but it goes just wide of the post.
In fact, I think it's his own teammate in Raphael Varane that may put him off just in front of him. He's jumped really well as Varane. I think Varane was in an offside position. In fact, there's Dari just in front as well, isn't it? Just putting him off, leaning into him, not allowing him to get that clean forehead on the ball. In the end, nods it wide of the goal. It's another good opportunity for France not taken.
A foul over on the left-hand side. And sorry, as he turns away from Antoine Griezmann. Achraf Hakimi in the side of the field, just plays a ball in towards the middle, and they can't make anything work in Morocco. It's been very disjointed as it stands. Not really held onto the ball for longer than a minute or so in this second half, but here comes Amrabat, plays another ball in, and once again it's lost, and it's looking very mismatched in the middle of the park here. They can't hold onto the ball. Griezmann under pressure from a challenge. He's won the free kick. I think he's just slightly falling apart for Morocco.
Yeah, 18 minutes to go. They're starting to panic a little bit, aren't they? Miscommunication, not once, not twice, but 3 times on this near side. That ball from Amrabat is so unlike him, isn't it? Into the middle of the park, in towards the man in front of him, who he just didn't know there was a man behind him in Griezmann, and he nipped him beautifully, didn't he, the Frenchman? He's been so key in this game. He was against England, of course. He's been so impressive, and he is an absolute rock-solid key in this French side. Yet Morocco just need to gather hold of the ball again. They've not had it much in the second half in terms of in attacking areas since those 2 changes were made.
Nice chest down from Marcus Thuram. Can't quite pick out Kylian Mbappe, but Fofana definitely will. He tries to flick on Mbappe towards Thuram, who was caught napping. Wasn't quite on his toes there, so it'll roll straight through to Bono in goal. Just rolls it out there towards El Yamiku, picks the ball up, plays a 1-2 there with Amrabat. The Fiorentina man trying to orchestrate from deep here, but he's struggling to enjoy any sort of possession for a prolonged period of time. It's out on the left-hand side with Atia Alal. Have a chance to take the throw in, and Morocco just want to settle things down now and just hold the ball for a minute or two as Dari sprays it out towards his right-hand side. Achraf Hakimi will have a chance to stand up against Thuram. And another sloppy pass there from Hakim Ziyech, gives the ball away, but Mbappe just caught there. But then Amrabat loses the ball uncharacteristically here as Thuram's been unlocked down the left-hand side. Mbappe making his way into the penalty area, but Thuram will feed it in towards Fofana as the shot just snatches at it, flashes it to Bono's near post. You'd think the goalkeeper had that covered there, but another effort on goal for France. It wasn't on target, and Morocco will look to play out from the back and try and catch them on the counter.
Yeah, caught once again from a poor piece of Moroccan play, wasn't it? They gave the ball away and caused that chance.
Yeah, things are looking slightly more sloppy here for Morocco, who was so sharp in that first half. And now here comes Hakim Ziyech. He had a chance, but Unahi plays the ball into the box. Raphael Varane's just there to mop up the danger. Griezmann brought to ground once again. He's been at the forefront of any challenges from Morocco. He's been brought down there by Amala, and France will have a chance to play out from the back with a pretty comfortable free kick. Yeah,
it's so risky, isn't it, playing out from the back in modern football with the chasing that happens, but Griezmann just seems to have so much time. He flicks the ball away there. In fact, I think it might come off the hand there of Amala, who pressed right into him and pressed him all the way. It's a good cross on the right-hand side, I have to say, for Munahi, in towards the edge of the box, towards Amdallah, but I think Varane was the man who just about got a toe on the end of the ball. 74 minutes gone. France have had 13 attempts to Morocco 7, but only 1 on target. That is why they're only 1-0 up. They've had their chances to put this game to bed, haven't they? Giroud could have scored 3 in the first half. In the end, it's just 1-0. Morocco are going to make another change.
Yeah, it's there's Abde, the Osasuna man, who was looking likely to come on. He was stood by the touchline Just getting a few last words before entering the field. We'll have to wait until the ball next goes out though, as O.A.T plays in towards Chouameni, who's under pressure there, and they've been dispossessed, and it's a really good chance for Morocco to break forward. They're breaking forward in numbers, and Hamdallah is going to have a chance at goal. He doesn't get a shot away though. He's always pressed towards the left-hand side. Koundé does well to show him to the corner, but they're still moving forward here. They've got options, still with Atia Allah, who's being pressed towards the corner flag by Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann does really well there to fight back. He's been fantastic in his work rate in getting back here for France in the second half, and now they'll look to break. Chouameni being picked out by Ousmane Dembele. Still going to move forward with it. Chouameni, he's got options out wide. He finds Marcus Thuram, overlapping run from Theo Hernandez. Thuram's not going to use him. They're going to settle things down now, France, and wait for the gaps to emerge, but Morocco are now back in numbers.
Never mind being one of the best attackers on the field, Griezmann's been the best defender, hasn't he? He just seems in control every time he's not even got the ball. And he sends a TLR down the line on purpose, just backheels the ball out the way. It's brilliant, isn't it? But Hamdallah, what a chance. He just doesn't strike it at any opportunity. He thinks, oh, I can get a bit more space. I can get a bit more space. And every single time he tries to take a touch, it creates less space, and he therefore doesn't get the shot off.
It doesn't. It's a cross-field ball. It was a hopeful one. It was also a very poor one from Raphael Varane. Tried to switch play over towards this near side, just getting another replay of the chance. You just wonder whether Hamdallah he just needs to hit it, doesn't he? Like you've just said, Matt. Hamdallah just doesn't get the ball out of his feet. He's always just trying to walk it into the back of the net. Just have an effort on goal. It could take a lucky deflection. You could end up beating Lloris. It just wasn't going to sit for him, and he didn't want to take his chance.
No, he could have hit it straight away on his right boot from 20 yards, couldn't he? He had a free man on the right-hand side. He could have perhaps slotted through. I think, in fact, he made the right decision, chopped onto his left foot. Strike it then. It's a perfect opportunity. Just hit the ball towards goal. Yes, it might be a weaker foot. Hit and hope. It could go anywhere, as you say, Harry, but he doesn't take it.
Yeah, that sprays the ball out towards Atia Alal on the left-hand side. Ball falls pretty comfortably in the middle there for Boukalal, but he can't do anything with it. They will retain possession, though, Morocco, as on the left-hand side, Atia Alal has opened up the afterburners. He then finds a ball out towards the left-hand side. Hamdallah is going to try and take on the France defenders. He does really well to get to the byline, tries to spray a ball into the corridor of uncertainty, but he can't keep it in. It flies out. Lloris will see it away for a pretty comfortable goal kick. He's been very energetic and positive, hasn't he, Hamdallah? But he's just lacking that quality of an En-Nesyri or a Boufal or even a Hakim Ziyech, who's still on the field, of course. It's a sloppy cross. He hits it from underneath him and he whips it wide of the mark. Looks as though that change is going to come, and it's a sub for a sub. Yeah, it's Amalu who's going to go off. He came on pretty early on for Roman Saiss in the 22nd minute, but he's going to be replaced by Ez Abde as he comes on to make an appearance in this World Cup semi-final. It could be in vain though, as they're still trailing, as a chance now for the current World Cup holders, the current champions France, are making a change. Ousmane Dembele is leaving the field, just waiting for confirmation on who he is going to be replaced by. I would assume the likes of Kingsley Coman on the bench are the obvious changes. Maybe Randall Kolo Muani. It is going to be Randall Kolo Muani who's going to replace him on that far side. So France trying on another attacker. Maybe they don't feel quite as comfortable as maybe they did in at the end of the first half with just a 1-0 victory. They could maybe see Morocco coming back into it. Yeah, it's open, isn't it, on the break, and there's plenty of space to run into, and of course that will only increase as the game goes on, with Morocco still being behind and trying to get a last gasp equaliser. So a change like that, not the worst thing in the world. A little bit more energy to keep the ball, perhaps a few more runs for the midfielders to feed through as Fofana breaks forward. Yeah, Fofana has a chance to come forward. He finds Kylian Mbappe. Lovely turn away to find Marcus Thuram. He's in the penalty area, still making inroads here, chopping back on the right foot. Mbappe has a chance to dance through a couple of players. That's beautiful from Mbappe. And finishing it off is Randall Kolo Muani. He's only just entered the field, came on no less than 30 seconds ago, and he's doubled France's advantage, and you think that the hill is way too high for Morocco to climb to get back into it. What a substitution. Didier Deschamps. Muani with his first touch of the ball just taps the ball home, but what a run that is from Kylian Mbappe. He's the magic man, the man with the dancing feet, drives into the box and somehow evades about 3 tackles, gets a pass towards goal, more of a pass than a shot than anything, and it just deflects it. We said it about Hamdallah just a few moments ago, just shoot, you never know where the ball's going to go. Mbappe does just that, and it falls perfectly for Muani. French relief and French euphoria as they are no longer clinging onto a lead, but now they're in the driver's seat to meet Lionel Messi's Argentina in the final of the World Cup. They'll become the first side to retain the World Cup in a number of years if they manage to complete the feat at the weekend. And it's all thanks to that man, Kylian Mbappe, who's been electric tonight. Got the assist for the first goal, and he's going to get, well, another fortunate assist for the second. Both assists that he's got this evening have come from deflections, but take nothing away from him. He deserved the assist for that goal. He danced in and out. There was a number of bodies in and around him, and they just couldn't get near him. The magic man, Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? He hasn't orchestrated either pass to the goal scorer, has he? But it's just the cause of chaos. It will go to the dubious goals panel as to who will get the assist, but it's that chaos that he creates, the pace that he's got driving into the box. It's unbelievable, isn't it? You mentioned it. They could become the first side to do the double in the World Cup since 1958, 1962. Brazil and Pele, of course. The great Pele is, well, if Mbappe wins the tournament this year, would be the only man younger than Mbappe to win 2 World Cup tournaments, and it would be back-to-back for both of them, of course. Mbappe just breaking into this scene once again. He's unbelievable, isn't he? He's bursting towards the goal-scoring record himself. Yes, Giroud's just taken it, but surely it's only a matter of time till he takes it off. But Morocco will still come forward.
Still plenty of time for the youngster who's, I say youngster, he plays like he's a seasoned vet, Kylian Mbappe. He's got the aura of a superstar. He's a wonder kid who's broken to the scene at such a young age, and his ceiling never seems to stop. He just goes up and up and gets better and better with age. And it's going to be frightening to see how he performs in World Cups to come and Euros to come, and even at club level at PSG. He just never looks like he's slowing down. But Randall Kolo Muani will take all the credit for the goal. I mean, it's going to be one of the easiest goals he's scored in his career, and it could be one of the most important goals he's scored in his career, as France are no longer clinging on. They're firing themselves into the World Cup final. Can they do it back-to-back and break the holder's curse?
Yeah, I mean, what a record it is for Muani. It's just his 4th France game. He's got his first France goal. What a day to do it.
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe now moving forward. They're showing no signs of letting up. They're going for the jugular now. Le Bleu, as Mbappe dances around, and nobody can get near him before the ball flies back towards the defence. They're happy to reset from the back now with Raphael Varane. He's got options forward, just drops it off short to Jules Koundé. Backing towards Raphael Varane. He finds Konate. There's options forward. He's opted to go back, though. He's under slight pressure there from Abde, as Hugo Lloris is forced into slinging a long ball forward. Nicely played down there by Randall Kolo Muani, but a really sloppy pass from Antoine Griezmann allows the ball to roll out for a throw. They retake, though, with Abde. And he only just came onto the field. He had a bit of a horror start. He's just come on, and he started conceded, and it's looking more and more likely there won't be progressing to the final of the World Cup. It was an absolutely hopeful dream that nobody in Morocco would have expected. It would have been madness in Marrakesh if they did manage to make it to the final, but it wasn't meant to be. And well, they can hold their heads high, because coming this far is achievement enough. The teams that they've taken down in their path to glory, but it seems as though they've just found a good one here in this French side, a team that are just too good, and well, it doesn't look like anyone's going to stop this French side.
Yeah, Portugal, Spain, Belgium. That French step is just one step too far, isn't it? The holding world champions, but yeah, as you say, hold their heads high. That first African team to get to the semi-final is one thing, but to put the French under the sword tonight, they've battled them really well, haven't they? They've created numerous opportunities. I tell you what, if El Yamik's overhead kick goes in at the end of that first half, what a second half we would have had. It would have been very, very even, and they've had their chances, and they still could have their chances. We saw some heroics, of course, in that game between Argentina and the Netherlands, which saw a crazy extra time. You never know in World Cup football, with the crowd right behind them, praying for them everywhere they go. I mean, you could see something special towards the end of the game, and I tell you what, as a neutral, you've got to hope for it.
Here you have. You've got a chance here. As now there's a bit of scrapping going on and around the penalty area. A few choice words between a couple of the players. There's El Yamik, who's enjoying a word with Rafa Varane, and Konate is getting involved. Marcus Thuram's in and around there. Chouameni's having a word as well. Fofana, they're all getting involved now. El Yamik and Rafa Varane are both having a word from the referees. Just going to settle things down. They won't want to see the game fall apart like it did in the Argentina-Netherlands game earlier on in the tournament. That really did start to heat up towards the end, and well, it really took the sting out of the game, in which it finished from a neutral perspective fantastically, but the game was very stop-start as the ball does float in from Hakim Ziyech, but it's once again Antoine Griezmann who's absolutely everywhere this evening, who's there clearing his lines, and he'll be picked up on halfway by Attila Allah, but It's they're running out of time now, Morocco, and it seems like they're running out of options.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm running out of superlatives for Antoine Griezmann. I mean, what a player. He's had a crazy club career, hasn't he? Going to Barcelona, it not really working. He's gone to Atletico Madrid, then only came on around the 67th minute, didn't he? For about 20 games in a row, something crazy. Why is he not starting in that team? Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? But what a player he is for France. He just seems to turn it on, doesn't he? And the whole team can rely on him because he's just got that free role in the middle. And he will never, ever leave a space defensively. And he will always create something attackingly. And they can lean on him as one of the experienced men in this team. And they've done that defensively tonight more than anything.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. And he's a man reformed when he's playing in this French side as opposed to his club career. But a ball goes flying into the box and it's a good header one. But Hakim Ziyech will pick things up on the byline. Chop back on the left foot. He's trying to beat Thuram there at the byline. And Thuram just clapping his hands together and geeing himself up because he knows that was a vital bit of strength to not allow Ziyech to get a ball in the box, and things are falling apart for Morocco. France looking more and more controlled as the game goes on. We're ticking over the 86th minute and they're running out of ideas. Yeah,
it was a good opportunity, wasn't it, for Ziyech on that right hand side. He just tried a little trick to try and create something against Thuram there. There was an option though. Hakimi was an instant option, just lay it off. First time cross comes in, but it wasn't to be there. Ziyech trying to be the star man to just create an open opportunity from nowhere. But has to be said, I know they've played a lot of minutes in not just this game, but the minutes over recent weeks. But En-Nesyri and Boufal, as soon as they came off, the sting's gone out of this Morocco side.
They lost that flash of quality, that flash of finesse that they needed in the final third. They needed a spirited performance and maybe a bit of individual brilliance. And as soon as them two men came off, that individual brilliance fell apart from them as Marcus Thuram just having a word with the referee. I think the referee is saying actually last warning, as he was at the forefront of all of the words in and around the penalty area. He's just not allowed Morocco to take the free kick there, so he's had a word with the referee. But here they come forward with Hakimi, who's dancing and twisting and turning away from bodies, and he's going to be deemed offside there. Or I think maybe a potential foul from Achraf Hakimi on Theo Hernandez. And Hakimi, I think he's slightly starting to lose his head in frustration now, as he really wasn't happy with the decision.
Well, there were a few moments looking like he was going to lose his head in the first half, wasn't there? He was very, very disappointed with a few decisions in the opening 20 minutes of the game, and that was, of course, a different linesman. It's just not been his night at right full-back. Yes, as a right-back against Kylian Mbappe, you have to defend more than you attack, and that's not Hakimi's normal game, is it? PSG, you can burst forward so often, but the drums are now out for the French side, and it's a switch, isn't it? The crowd has completely changed. They were full of life for this Moroccan side. They're almost resigned to the loss now.
Look for one last glimmer of hope. Morocco with Amrabat drops the ball in short towards a teammate out towards the left-hand side. Atia Allah play the ball back in field, but it's another poor ball, and Griezmann will pick up the danger. And now France back in steady possession, and as the game goes on, the French are getting better and better as they just wait for the final whistle now. A long ball forward from Lloris. Amrabat wins it, but he runs it straight into the path of Marcus Thuram, and now France will look to come forward with Antoine Griezmann out towards Kolo Muani. The Frankfurt striker is drifted out towards the right-hand side for the purpose of the French national team. He plays the ball back in field. It's now with Varane. And Konate has his head up. Direct ball into Fofana. Plays a 1-2 between the pair. And now Theo Hernandez. They won't look to throw bodies forward here, France. The job is almost all but done, so they're happy to hold onto the ball. They're happy to see out till the final whistle and get through to the final of the World Cup unscathed and keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking forward to that final now, you just wonder about Rabiot and Upamecano, don't you? In terms of illness, it's more likely that they're going to come back than an injury come Sunday morning, and ready for the game at 3 p.m. of Greenwich Mean Time. That is where we are. But I have to say, I think Rabiot will slot back into the team alongside Tchouaméni if he's ready. I think Konate has done enough tonight to stamp his claim alongside Varane instead of Upamecano.
Yeah, he's been an absolute rock. More of a physical presence than Upamecano himself. Has a bit more defensive capabilities, but there's a ball over the top for Morocco. The shot comes in there from Abou Khalal, but he was offside in the end. The linesman has his flag up. It wasn't going to end up in the back of the net, but nonetheless, a tame effort. Hugo Lloris pretty comfortably deals with it. No real danger, as it's just a bit of lazy play. As he it's actually very close. He's right on the edge of the penalty area. Konate almost playing him on there, maybe just an inch or so off. You see the face of the distraught Morocco fans whose dream and journey is looking like it's coming to an end. But what a ride it's been.
Yeah, absolutely. Just not done enough tonight in attacking positions. Not had too many shots at Lloris's goal to cause him any issues. They will fight to the death, of course, as we get 6 minutes of added time at the end of this game at the O.A.T Stadium. But yeah, one step too far for this side, who have created history on the African continent. First team to ever get to a semi-final. This French team have just had too much class tonight to get past them. In the end, the fans will be so supportive of them as they go back home, won't they? They'll be so impressed by the effort that they've made in this tournament. They will not absolutely hit themselves too hard in terms of getting distraught at the defeat. They will be proud of what they've done, and they will look to future competitions, although the youngsters don't quite have that perspective, don't they, of years gone by, and the regeneration of this Moroccan side. That they're in tears, but I think the older fans in the crowd know how far this team have come.
Yeah, they've seen the upward trajectory that their side has taken on. The side who disappointed in the African Cup of Nations, as to speak, but they'll go into future AFCON and World Cups with their heads held high and thinking that they really do have a chance after today. They've shown the world what they're capable of and how defensively astute they are. Their discipline at the back to, before today, only concede 1 goal in a whole World Cup, which is a mean feat for anyone, let alone a tournament underdog. And they've done everything right up to this point, but they've come up against arguably the best side on the planet, the current champions, the side who are probably going to be favourites going into the final. It'll be interesting to see whether there's a little bit of Messi magic left to maybe take down this French side. But here comes Kylian Mbappe, who's racing through the defence, but his PSG teammate Achraf Hakimi will deny him with a good burst of pace to stop him in his tracks. Yeah,
great from Hakimi, but magic once again, wasn't it, from Mbappe in the middle of the park? Him against Leo Messi, what a challenge that's going to be. Two sides that have got their weaknesses, it has to be said. I do agree with you. I think that France will be the favourites, and given the fact that they are the current holding champions, but both teams can be got at, and both teams have weakness at fullback as well, as a couple of the Argentinian fullbacks were out of the semi-final, of course, with suspensions and the like. They'll be back for the final, but the French team with Hernandez, who's been got at tonight by the Moroccans, and Koundé, who's more of a centre-back at right-back. Just wonder how it's going to play out. It's going to be such a thoroughly entertaining game.
Whether Giroud was brought off for his performance or that slight injury that he picked up in the first half. He looked like he was hobbling for a second, looked comfortable in the second half, but the performance wasn't quite there, and if he is not quite 100%, it could be a massive miss come Sunday. But nonetheless, here come Morocco with maybe one last chance in the penalty area. It's fallen pretty kindly on the left-hand side for Abou Khalal, but he can't do anything with it. And Unahi has a chance to scoop a shot goal-bound, but it was high, wide and handsome from him. Was never going to hit the target. Lloris sees it over. It's pretty comfortable in the end.
Yeah, brilliant from Unahi, though, wasn't it? To presence of mind to quickly turn. It just almost fell in the box. Hakimi dropping the ball back. Ball was whipped in. It just didn't quite go for them.
Yeah, Amrabat scoops another ball in from a resulting corner for Morocco, and another shot comes in from Unahi. Ricochet is off the body of Fofana, and they'll scoop clear, but Randall Kolo Muani will bound down at Atia Alal and put him under pressure. He heads back to the goalkeeper and Bono, and Kolo Muani still follows him all the way to the goal, but he can't quite get there. He was chasing in vain, but nonetheless good to see the legs from the Frenchman. They're coming forward once again. Atia Alal gets towards the byline. He's done really well here. Is he going to cut the ball back towards the byline? He can't quite pick out a teammate, but it's fallen pretty comfortably. The ball bounding in towards the goal, and they can't finish it off. And it just sums up Morocco's evening tonight. Nothing will get that ball over the line.
I can't believe that ball's not gone into the back of the net. It's a brilliant cutback, isn't it? Not enough men gambling forward in the box there as the ball was cut back. In the end, it's Hakimi, I think, who gets a touch and smashes it towards goal. Questions now maybe of handball or something like that. The game has stopped as it's gone out for a throw-in on the near side. This time, Jules Koundé on the line. I think Amdallah is the man in the middle of the box. Just tried to turn it home, just couldn't get enough of a contact.
Ziyech sprays the ball out towards Atia Alal, who's dropped pretty centrally now. He's moved out of his left-back position to just try and get one last chance in behind. Ziyech with a ball over the top. A massive overhead kick comes in from Abou Khalal. That would have been a mean feat there, but he was in an offside position. It wouldn't have counted anyway, but fair play to Abou Khalal for even trying that in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Just seeing a replay of that previous chance as Koundé was the man tackling initially, smashed towards goal. Yeah, Koundé on the line. That's brilliant work, isn't it? Lloris was beaten, all ends up, and then we see this volley from Unahi. It was actually the knee comes in from Amdallah. Just a fortunate Little touch there from Koundé as it fell as his left boot. Fighting to the last gasp, aren't they, the Moroccans? The fans will cheer them and appreciate their effort in these games, but the French flags are flying high.
Lloris with a goal kick. Long downfield, looking for Marcus Thuram, but can't pick out his teammate as Hakim Ziyech will pick things up, but it looked like a team defeated in Morocco as they passed back toward goal, and Bono will just about keep it in from going out for a corner, but well, we've ticked over the 95th minute now and it's pretty much game over. They're not really looking like they're even going to try and get another goal now, Morocco. I think they've realised their fate. But like we've said time and time again, they can hold their heads high. They've done everything right to this point. France just too good on the night. And France, you could say, are in a bit of a fortunate position to be here. Probably outplayed by England. Amrabat just goes down under the challenge and commits a handball. That should be a definite yellow card. I mean, it was a clear handball. He goes to ground. Chouameni's beaten him there and he just grabs it almost as well on the floor.
Yeah, not for the first time tonight. He's slipped, hasn't he? He's just grabbed the ball just to stop the French attack. I think the referee's just going to be lenient here and not give him a yellow card towards the end of the game. But yeah, it's just a little bit of a funny action, and the referee
blows the whistle to signify the end of the game. It's going to be a party in Paris and misery in Marrakesh as France come back and throw everything at Morocco, and they defeat them pretty comfortably in the end. Morocco could not do anything about it. They were just beaten by the better team on the day. It's going to be misery, but they can hold their heads high. They've been fantastic throughout the whole tournament. It's going to be really sad for them, but they're flying out of the World Cup. France into the final to face Lionel Messi's Argentina. It's going to make for a massive final come Sunday. Their scoreline finishes France 2, Morocco 0.